Now, Larry, we hear there from head coach Bukowski, and now you got to take your hat off to him and this program as we get set for this 140-pound match and another Montini wrestler coming up before we get to that. But boy, we mentioned the Clash, the Ironman, and now the Cheesehead in back-to-back weekends. That is almost one of the most unheard of schedules of any team you'll ever hear in high school wrestling and anywhere in the country.
There's no doubt about it. You know, it takes a quality team to go through a schedule like that and still compete at the level they're competing at.
This is 140 pounds. This should be a very interesting matchup. Two of the best in any weight here in the red and black singlet from Iowa Grande, a perfect record of 23-0. He's the returning state champion from Iowa Grande, Cade Sarbacker, and from Montini again in the maroon and silver, the record of 28-5. Just a sophomore, Isaiah Gonzalez. Two very different tales to this championship match. Sarbacker with a cruising semifinal with a pinfall. I remember watching the Gonzalez match. Came down to the wire overtime with the wrestler from Kaukauna. So saw it maybe play out in that last match where you had a semifinal pin and a semifinal very close victory. Here you have Sarbacker. Hasn't really been tested to this point. And Gonzalez, I don't want to say lucky to be here, but maybe fortunate to be in the finals the way that semifinal match could have went either way.
Yeah, I think Isaiah Gonzalez really had a tough semifinal match against Kaukauna, and you know, he's only a sophomore, so it's going to be interesting to see if that took a lot out of him. But you know, Montini has a good tradition. They have a tough team, and he has tough practice partners. So I think that he's ready for this type of competition. So Joey, I think this should be a good match.
Cade Sarbacker's been very close in this tournament. He was second here a year ago, fourth in 2004 as a sophomore, so he has certainly had some success in the Cheesehead. Will his senior year be the year where he gets to the top of the award stand? He's been all over the award stand, Larry, in the years past.
He sure has.
Will this be the year Cade gets to the top of the award stand?
Well, Isaiah didn't waste any time. He went after him right away, but you know, Cade just countered very well. They're back on their feet, and right now they're just kind of feeling each other out to see you know, what they can do.
Sarbacker ranked #1 this week in the crossface Division III rankings. And Gonzalez, heck of a story. Talking about the great programs in Wisconsin, like the Wisconsin Rapids and the Merrills. It's tough to crack the lineup as an underclassman, especially in these middleweights. Montini, no exception, one of the best in the country. Here you have Gonzalez, just a sophomore at 140 pounds. Got to speak about Isaiah's talent to be a varsity on a team like Montini, just a sophomore.
That's so true. You know, a team the quality as Montini, you know that they have a strong program, they have a strong wrestling room, and just to break the lineup is tough when you're a junior or senior, but this young man's only a sophomore.
You mentioned, sorry to cut you off there, you mentioned the wrestler he beat in the semifinals, Dylan Berra of Kaukauna, a very close 6-5 match. Berra ranked 3rd in Division I this week in the crossface rankings, so he beat one of the best Wisconsin had to offer. It was a great match, one of the best in the semifinals. So he's been through the ringer to get to Sarbacker, one of the state's best in Division III.
I think Sarbacker has a lot of respect for him right here. You know, he's not taking any chances, and Isaiah has already made a couple shots, but he hasn't been able to penetrate.
There was Sarbacker in on the body lock here. This can be dangerous for both wrestlers. Almost who's going to flinch first when you get in that position.
Oh, this is dangerous right here. You know, I don't know if I'd want to be in that position. They both knew what they were doing. They both do a lot of freestyle and Greco, and that clinch wound up in a stalemate. Now they're free again.
Yeah, I've been in plenty of body locks. I don't know if I'd want to get in a body lock with Cade Sarbacker or Isaiah Gonzalez. I don't know if I could initiate the action with these two young men.
I'm with you.
Well, no score after this first period, and Cade Sarbacker, you mentioned there, maybe showing the respect here, just the sophomore Gonzalez, but you mentioned his semifinal win over Berra of Kaukauna, some of the other wrestlers in pool competition that Gonzalez took out to get to Sarbacker. I think everyone expected Sarbacker to be here, but maybe Gonzalez a bit of an upset to beat some of the seniors, the upperclassmen he did to get to this final.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it, and I can see that Cade right now is riding with his legs, trying to keep him down. The official just called a stalemate, or potentially dangerous, because when they get to their feet in that position, someone could fall and get hurt. I think one of the nicest things about our sport is anytime somebody gets into a position of danger, the officials will break it and call it potentially dangerous, and that really is a tribute to the sport of wrestling.
Well, there's that apropos timing, Larry, as you see Sarbacker, and this is This is why only the big boys do wrestling, is Sarbacker just bringing Gonzalez down to the mat with authority. I heard that thud. We're about 30 rows up here in the Kaukauna High School gym. That was Mr. Gonzalez's back inside of his head hitting off that mat. So this isn't for the weak at heart, the sport of wrestling. But you're right, the officials do a great job. And if you see that call, potentially dangerous, it's the officials' judgment that it's getting too close to where one of the wrestlers may be hurt, and they'll stop it in a heartbeat.
Well, Isaiah just came out and scored a point, so he's got the lead right now on Sarbacker.
And boy, I would have to imagine, still very early, and Cade Sarbacker is a pretty cool customer, but I can't imagine Cade comes into this match 23-0. I can't imagine too many of those 23 matches where Cade was ever trailing at any point this season.
No, and right now he just did a great job of countering that attack with his hips and scored a 2-point takedown to take the lead.
Now you think about Iowa Grant, they go to some great competition. They're ranked #1 in Division III. They go up to the Wisconsin Rapids tournament, which is a dual tournament. Kicks off the high school wrestling season. You get some of the best up there in a dual meet format. And Sarbacker coming out of that thing unblemished. You'll get the Wisconsin Rapids and some of the others of the world up there. So Sarbacker's had some good competition thus far, and he's been up to the test, going 23-0, obviously here are the finals of the Cheesehead.
There's a Granby roll, almost scored his points, but Sarbacker's in on that single leg, and he's just not going to give it up.
Well, after that takedown, Sarbacker, I guess he heard us up here, Larry. He said, I don't want the TV guy saying I'm behind here. I don't ever trail. So Sarbacker quickly got that takedown, and he leads it 2-1. Now here's an interesting spot. 22 seconds. If you're Cade Sarbacker, this is huge. If you can ride him out, this is almost another takedown swing here to go up a point and have the option to go down in that third period. Critical seconds here for both wrestlers.
Yes, and we know for sure that Isaiah is not going to sit still. He's going to keep moving, and he's going to try to do that Granby roll again. He could get you in some big trouble.
Final 10 seconds, and this would be a big turnaround for Sarbacker to get the takedown and hang on here for the riding time. In effect, wiping out that escape by Gonzalez in the second period. So Sarbacker goes to the third period now. He will go down, Larry, and this will really put the pressure on Gonzalez if Sarbacker is able to escape here.
I just see that, Isaiah just looked over at his coaches, and the coaches told him to release him and not to try to hold him down and try to beat him on his feet.
Now, so here it comes now. If you're Gonzalez, you have to come up with a takedown to tie the match. Well, how big was that takedown? And how big was Sarbacker hanging on there for the last 30 seconds of riding time in that second period?
That was huge. That was very huge. And able to do that, he stayed right up on his upper body, up on his head and shoulder area, and kept him down on the mat. But Joe, you're so right. That was huge.
And now the pressure of the onus is on Gonzalez to bring the action here in this third period. Sarbacker, he's a veteran. He's a state champ. He's a runner-up in this tournament. He knows that he's not going to put himself in any danger here in this third period.
Isaiah has just actually shot 3 times and hasn't been able to finish either one, but Sarbacker came right back and scored a takedown with a shot of his
head
own.
Inside single there. It was almost a modified low leg single there by Sarbacker. He came right in untouched, and a nice takedown. And there's some breathing room now for Cade Sarbacker at 5-1. Iowa Grant having another great 2007. Larry mentioned they're ranked #1 in Division III, and well, they're in that pod down there in the team sectional with all the big boys, the Mineral Points, and it's almost whoever comes out of that region every year, and Cashton, whoever comes out of that team sectional goes on to win the state championship, and it's always a dogfight to get out of that sectional. Right now, Iowa Grant looks very poised to make a run and down in Madison in March.
Well, they have a lot of solid wrestlers there, but like you say, the important thing is how tough are they going to be when it comes to regional time, because that region of the state, as you said, Joe, is very, very, very strong. Good quality.
Last year, I think they had Mineral Point, Cashton, and Iowa Grant, who all are in that section. We're all at one point in the top 5 in the state, and only one of them gets to go to the state tournament. I mean, you talk about a tough luck loser in that sectional. But yeah, Iowa Grant, they've put together a great program down there in the southwest part of the state, making a run here at the Cheesehead as well, as they're flirting with a top 10 finish here.
Well, we've only got 16 seconds left in the match, and Cade Sarbacker has a 3-point lead. And he just got a nice takedown.
And there's some high amplitude for Cade Sarbacker. That would have been a nice three-point move in freestyle. It's unfortunately Cade, a high school, but he don't matter. He'll take the two-point takedown and a big victory. Cade Sarbacker finally gets the elusive championship after a couple of close calls here at the Cheesehead. He's your winner at 140 pounds.